Hello, my dear students. Hope you are doing good and you are safe at your home. In last lecture, we have completed the segmentation process and the basis of segmentation. In this particular lecture, we'll be completing the target market or the targeting. Now, let's try and understand what is the meaning and the definition of targeting. Once the company has completed the segmentation of the segmentation process, it has to select or it will select one or more segmentation for producing the said goods, that is known as the target market. Selection of the target market. Eventually, after the entire market, the company now has select the segment to which it is going to serve. It is going to serve. In the other words, it must decide which segment to target. For example, let us consider the laboratory instrument manufacturing company has segmented the market into three following segments. All right. Now, let's understand the students how it works. Actually, after company is done with the segmentation stuff, it will be talking about the targeting. What is targeting? Targeting is to select one or more than one segment and then produce for that particular segment, that is known as the targeting. Now, in the entire chapter or in the entire topic, we'll be considering one example, and the example is of a company that manufactures the laboratory instruments. Now, what kind of a market they are targeting? Let's understand this. Fine, laboratory instruments, and they are manufacturing three types of product. P1 is equal to microscope, P2 is equal to chemical apparatus, and P3 is known as a weighing scale. All right, they are targeting basically three markets, and the name of the three market is what? The first is, that is market one, is university laboratories. It means where school, colleges, and the universities are running BSc chemistry or something like that. M2 is the government labs, that can be civil hospitals, and M3 are the commercial labs, that are your pathological labs and everything that can be considered. All right. So three products and three market. But always remember this is not the permanent thing. It's not always that there will be a company who is manufacturing three products and are targeting three markets. No, this is just a hypothetical example that we are taking here. Some companies may be manufacturing, like companies like Hindustan Unilever would be manufacturing 209 kind of a product line, a big product line. Sometimes companies like Tata may have different subsidiary companies. Say for example, they run more than 90 plus companies. In every company they have again a different product line. So that completely depends what is the market. For example, if I talk about Reliance Jio today, so Reliance Jio is having Jio Money. Fine, they are having now they have their Jio Meet, they have internet, they have Giga Fiber, they have telephones, MiFi. Fine, so it's a big company. So all the product might not be targeting the same consumer. Some products might be related to the industrial. Fine, some products might be related to entertainment, some products might be related for the industrial purpose. So that completely depends on what you are targeting. Okay, now this is the most important statement. As you can see here, I'll just focus for you. This is the most important thing. Following are the five patterns. Fine, there can be five different patterns that how company can target to this consumer. All right, or to this segmentation, I can say the methods of segmentation. Let's see to this. All right, the first is single segment concentration. Fine, here what company is doing. Now let's first understand this matrix, how this matrix goes. Fine, this is a 3 by 3 matrix. How this is 3 by 3 matrix? A 3 by 3 matrix is because there is product 1, product 2, and product 3. And we know what our products are. You can see here, first is microscope, second is chemical operators, and third is weighing scale. And here there is market, that is market 1, market 2, and market 3. Now what are the markets? First is the university lab. As I said, first is a university lab, second is the government labs, and third is the pathological labs, that are commercial labs. All right, and here, as I said, this can be product 1, 2, and 3. So this is how this entire matrix has been created, and this matrix is going to stay with us for the entire 5 process. But as I said, It's not compulsory that all the companies might have this 3 by 3 matrix. Any company may have 5 by 1 matrix, any company may have 5 by 5 matrix, many companies may have, a big kind of a matrix. So that depends from the company to company. Okay, I hope the matrix is clear now. So let's talk about what? Let's talk about this single segment concentration. Now, what is single segment concentration? Here, as you can see, that company has the option that they can manufacture 3 product and they can target 3 markets. But here, company is targeting what? Single segment. That is, in our case, company is targeting one, that is P2 and M1. Fine, company is targeting P2 and M1. Now, what are the advantages of targeting only single segment market, right? On only one target market. What is the benefit of that? Read here. See, the first is firm gains a strong knowledge about the segment needs. Fine. Now the company is manufacturing only one product and company is selling this one product to the one market only. So what will happen? They will have a very strong knowledge about that particular market. I'll give an example over here. For example, company like BS Shah or companies like Popular, they are only manufacturing books for the universities. They are not even manufacturing book for the schools. So now what will happen in this case? They will be having a very strong knowledge about the university market, that how it runs, how to target students, how to contact the author, and how to manufacture a good book, what time to be published, because they are very specific about it. They are not targeting anything else. Their market is only one and their products are also one, that are the university books. All right. Okay. Now, second, what is the second advantage? Achieves a strong market presence. He would be a kind of a market leader because he is only targeting the one kind of a segmentation. He is only targeting this. That is nothing else he is targeting about. All right. Third is specialization in production, distribution, and promotion. As I said, he will be a market leader, so he knows how to lower the cost. Fine, he can always lower the cost because he is a leader now. He knows how to distribute the product and he can also decrease the distribution cost, and he can also promote in a better way because he do not have anything else to do. And most importantly, he will become a segment leader and high return on the investment. All right, but there is also a risk associated with this. There is a high risk associated with this. What kind of a risk is there? Let's see. The first thing is competition may invade and capture the segment. Now, for example, some other company comes into this segment and he is trying, he has come up with some new technology, or he is from another corporate world and he all of this sudden comes into the market and clashes the market. So now what is the problem? You don't have anything else to do. Fine. For example, if you were selling in 2 markets, so at least if your one market is over, so you could have shift to another market, or if this market is over, you could have shift to another market. But now there is nothing to do. So what you will do? You have to shut down the company. Fine. I'll give an example over here. Way back in 1997, there was a company known as PageLink that came to India launching a pagers. Fine. If you don't know pager, you can just go online. You can see what pager is. And in 1998, if I'm not wrong, the mobile companies came. So all of the sudden, pager company didn't had anything to do. I think in a 3 years or 4 years of span, the pager company died. Fine. There was nobody to buy pager. So if that company could have something else to do, or they would have some other target market, or they could have some other product to sell, so they might have survived. But in this case, they didn't had anything to sell or to offer to the market, so company has to close. All right, let's see here. For example, P2, that is chemical operators for the market 1, that is university lab only. This pattern of target market is called the single segment concentration. Hence, in single segment concentration strategy, the company focuses only on one product and on the one market. This is your explanation. You can write this explanation in your examination. One product and one market. All right, P1 and one market, that is known as a single segment concentration. Single segment concentration. Okay. Now let's come to the second one, that is selective specialization. All right, as you can see here, that company had 9 matrices here, but they are targeting only three. What those three? For P2, fine. For P2, they are only selling to M1. For P1, they are selling only to M3. For P3, they are only targeting to M2. So they are selective. Why they are selective? Because it might be possible that they know this market, fine. They are able to sell this product into the market. Hence, they have become specialized in that particular type of a segment. There are certain advantages. If you can read, there are certain advantages here. There may be little or no similarities between the segment. Now, as you can see that university lab and commercial lab do not have any similarity, or government labs and university lab do not have any similarities. In same way, when companies targeting certain kind of a certain kind of a product that they are manufacturing and they do not have any relation, or they do not have any interrelationship, so company can always profit. If one segment shut down, fine, for example, one segment shut down, they always have another segments to deal with. Or for example, if this market is not working, they can take this product to another market. There is an option. For example, this product is not now working, so they can take this product to this market. So there are always chances for the expansion and survival. So for for a good marketer, it is always good to go with a selective specialization. Second advantage is what? Each segment is money making, because obviously you are dealing in that particular segment because you know it is going to generate high amount of a profit, so you are dealing with that. Third is multi-segment strategy, as I said. Now, what is a trick here? Please pay attention here. What is a trick here for the company? What they have done? There are three markets, all right, and they have three products. So they are manufacturing all three products at the same time, and also they are targeting all three markets. Fine, it's not like that they are missing something. They are good with the products also, and they are good with the markets also. So in case tomorrow any market is closed, it doesn't bother them, because they have another two markets to deal with. In case if their product is shut it down any day, no problem, they always have another two product to deal with. And it is going to be very rare that all three products and all three markets are closed at the same point of time. This is not going to happen. This is a very rare case that is going to happen. So company is always in a benefit mode. Third is multi-segment strategy. All right, they are targeting in multi-segment and diversify the firm's risk. Fine, this reduces the risk. Now, say for an example, you are traveling. All right, so while you are traveling, what parents used to do? They used to give you money. Right, for example, your parents gave you 1,000 rupees. So if you keep those 1,000 rupees in one pocket, there are chances that somebody could steal that money. But say for an example, if you keep 300 in one pocket, 300 in another pocket, and 300 in maybe in your socks, and another 100 bucks in somewhere else. All right, now what would happen if one time your money has been stolen? So at least you have another three pockets, so that that can survive you. So this is the same kind of a thing, as Warren Buffett said, don't hatch your eggs in the same basket. You need to diversify. So that is this kind of a diversification. Now see an example over here. For example, the company selects only more attractive for each of the product. The most attractive market segment is selected. Hence, diagram shows that for the company 1, M1 most attractive segment is product 2. Similarly, for M3 attractive segment is P1, and for M2 it is P3. So I hope the doubt is clear. This is one of the best kind of marketing strategy to deal with. Now, third is product specialization. Fine. Here, what company is doing? Company is only manufacturing one different type of a product, only one product, and is selling in all the markets. All right. Now, this has specialization. This is advantageous at certain point of time, but not always. How? Now, what will happen here? The cost of production would be definitely low, because you are manufacturing high production. Your promotional strategy would be definitely very high. You are very excellent in doing this kind of a job. But what is the risk assorted here? The risk assorted is, say for example, one fine day your product itself is obsoleted. Fine, your product is obsoleted. Now what you will do? Fine, if nobody is going to buy your product, as I just said the example of a pager. Fine, now pager all of the sudden it stopped into the market. So what one will do? fine, in that case you don't have anything to sell in the market, so it becomes very much risky. All right, firm makes certain product that is sell to the several different market. Limitation, product may become obsolete and by the new technology, as I give an example. So here the company specialize only in those products for all the market segment, that is company produces only P2 for M1, 2 and 3. This type of strategy is known as a product specialization strategy, because the company is specializing in only one product for all the markets. All right, I hope this is clear for you people. Okay, now let's go with the fourth one. This is considered as a market specialization. This is also good. Fine. This can be considered good strategy for once. Fine. I'll give an example over here. For example, stationery market. Let's take a company Navneet. Fine. Let's take a company Navneet. Now, if you see Navneet, what Navneet is doing, actually they are not targeting yes, Navneet is targeting a stationery market. Fine. Now, what they are manufacturing, for example, they are into the stationery manufacturing. They are into the books manufacturing, that is handwriting books manufacturing. They are also in certain amount of a textbook manufacturing. But their market is one. What is the market? It's a school. Fine. Their market is very clear, school, and the school kids are the market for the Navneet. Even this strategy could be one of the fine strategy, that you have a strong market presence. I'll repeat it. You can have a strong market presence. Okay, now this is good strategy. Even if somebody could, specialization, do specialization in this, but there is always a competition. Now if you see, in certain years Classmate has come as a competitor. Fine. Now Classmate has come as a competitor. Now definitely what Classmate is doing, Classmate is a corporate company, so Classmate is manufacturing scales, corporate Classmate is manufacturing books, scales, rubbers, pencils, but the only thing they are not manufacturing is the school textbooks and digest. All right, but this will definitely give competition to the Navneet, so there is always a risk in doing that also. For example, here the company specialize only in one market for all the product, that is P1, 2 and 3. Hence this strategy which company specializes is only one market is known as a market specialization. All right, now the fifth one and the last one, but actually it's not last, there are two another different strategy that we'll be talking about. The full market segmentation. All right, here companies manufacturing all three products and companies selling this product to all three markets. All right, now here all companies cannot do this, only remember this, only large firms can do this. Let's take an example of Hindustan Unilever here. Fine. Now Hindustan Unilever is say I'm just talking about soap. Let's, for example, I'm just talking about soaps. All right. Now, for example, they are manufacturing Lux also. They are manufacturing Lifebuoy also. They are manufacturing Dove also. They are manufacturing, Pears also. Fine. They have more than three, and they have all type of a markets. Fine. They are targeting hotels also. They are targeting consumers also. They are targeting industries also. Fine. So this kind of a market strategy is not been adopted by all the companies. Only big companies can do this. Fine. Now see, I've given example over here. Large firms like Acer, that is a computer business, Pepsi, non-alcohol drinks. Large firms can cover the whole market in two broad ways. All right. Now there are two different strategies in this strategy only. Now what are those strategy? That is differentiated marketing, and second is the undifferentiated marketing. All right. Now let's see how it happens. Undifferentiated, please pay attention. This can come in 2 marks for your examination, so please read it very carefully. All right. Undifferentiated marketing means what? Here, firm ignores the segment differences and goes after the whole market with one offer. Fine, they are manufacturing only one type of a product and they are selling to all the kind of a market. All right. Now, for here we are not talking about different packaging. Fine, we are just simply talking about what we are simply talking about the kind of a product. For example, salt. And now salt has been used by big hotels also. The salt has been used by the individual nuclear family also. They are being used by the restaurants also. They are being used by the university canteens also. They are being used by the company canteens also. But there is only a single product. Here the firm ignores the differences and goes after the whole market with one offer. It designs a product and marketing program that will apply to the broadest number of buyers. It relies on the mass distribution. Fine, it relies on the mass distribution. All right. Undifferentiated marketing is a marketing counterpart to the standardization and mass production of manufacturing. Fine. I hope you can relate this with the segmentation. The first point that we talk about the Model T by the Henry Ford. Fine. So this is a similar kind of a strategy. The undifferentiated advertisement keeps the low advertisement cost. So the company can turn its lower cost to the lower price and win the price sensitive segment for the market. For example, I can talk about Pepsi, or I can talk about Coca-Cola. Fine, they are manufacturing the same product. Now, say for example that Coke, Pepsi, if all the segments are been consuming that, fine, it might be a lavish class, it might be a elite class, it might be a middle class, or it might be a liberal class. The product is same for everybody. Fine, they are not differentiating on the basis of gender even. Yes, the positioning is different. Fine, the kind of a feeling is different, but the product is similar for the entire market. All right. Second is differentiated marketing. Here firms operate in several different segments and designs the different product for the each segment. For example, Hindustan Unilever produces various soaps. Some soaps produced by for rich people, esteemed class, high class soaps. Or my mistake here. This is some. Fine, please make the correction in your notes. Some soaps are for those belong to the middle class, and some soaps belongs from the lower class, that is low price soaps. Here soap is the same, but there is a slight different variation in soap on the basis of the price. Product is same, but as I said, they are manufacturing Lux also, they are manufacturing Lifebuoy also, they are manufacturing Dove also, they are also manufacturing this Pears. Fine, so product is similar, but for every category they have a different type of a product, that is considered as a differentiated marketing. All right, in next lecture we'll be talking about positioning, so be ready for that. In case you have any query, you know where to drop the message. You can drop message on Google Classroom. You have my email ID, that is holla@duaji.info. So any of the query you're most welcome, and keep reading. All right, all the best. Stay home, stay safe.